Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have successfully complete the designation, right? And also we have successfully complete all that functionality for our setup management. So right now friend, every part, as I told you, every part is very much interconnected because we will create one complete school management system software. So into this area, now we will need that our student class, student year, group, student, there is a shift, category, everything will be needed. So now I want to do and started our new option that will be as a student management. And into the student management, let's start it with the student registration. So if you want to start it with the student registration, first of all, I want to create one of the menu. Okay, so here we have successfully complete everything in our setup management. Right now, every part, as I told you, is very much interconnected. So step by step, everything will be more clear to you. So right now, first of all, I want to add one of the menu. So that is in our sidebar, right? So now go to our project. So that is our project file. Into the project area, there is a migration database. And if you go to that public, into the public, if you go to, there is a clear public folder, there is a resource, right? So into the resource, if you go to that as a admin, into the admin, there is a body, in the body, that is our sidebar. So in sidebar, I want to create another menu. So that will be actually, there is a manage user, and that is our setup management. Okay, so better I copy everything. There is a one of the li. I copy total li. Okay, I copy total li, and then here after this I paste it. Okay, after this I simply paste it. So right now I don't need this. I remove all. I only want to take one. Okay, and that means the one menu I want to take. And also here we have to change that our prefix. So here I want to use that prefix as the students. Okay, students, because that will be all that our student management, right? So student management, everything I want to set up on here. So that will be as a, I want to create one of the prefix for the students, and then I name it as a setup, or that will be as a student management. And into the student management, our first our first menu will be as a student registration, right? So that will be actually student registration. Perfect. So now I want to name it as a student, and then the registration, that will be as a student registration. So friend, first work I want to create one of the route for this one, and this route will be as a student registration view. Okay, I name it as per this name. That means this is structure. Always actually try to use some of the structure, then it will be very much easy to use. So I just name it as a student registration view. So this type of one of the route I want to create, right? And also our prefix will be as a students. Now go to our web route, and into the web route, that is our designation, right? So better I copy it, rather than we have to also create another prefix, right? So that is our setup prefix. Into the setup prefix, there have the so many functionality, right? You can see there is a class setup prefix. Better I want to copy this profile prefix. Okay, I just simply copy it, and now here I want to add it after this. So after this I want to add new prefix. So that will be as a I name it as students, right? So that will be one of the student prefix, and that is our group functionality. And then here right now I only want to take one. Okay, for the view. So if you want to view it, first of all, here I name that our route name. Our route will be as a student registration view. I copied, and that will be name. Our name will be as a student registration view, right? Perfect. And then also I want to create one of the view page, and I just name it as a registration as a register. Okay, that means the REG view. That means the registration view. That will be our page. And then I have to also create one of the controller, and I have to create one of the methods. So first of all, I want to create one of the specific controller for this one as a student register controller. So if you want to create it, we have to go to our project. That means that is a clear project, and open as a CMD, and I want to create one of the controller, right? So I name it as a PHP artisan make controller. I think you already know that is a make controller. And into the backend. Into the backend, I want to do before, if you go there, before I have created into the controller, into the backup folder, I have created the setup folder, right? So now I want to do and to segment it for the student. So every student related every controller I want to save on here. Okay, so better I name it as a backend. Into the backend I want to create another folder as a student, and into the student folder I want to create one of the controller. It will be as a student registration or register controller. So this type of one of the controller I want to create. So if you click as a enter, automatically it will be created one of the folder in our backend folder. Okay, it will be created one of the student folder, and that will be our controller as a student registration controller. Perfect. So now click as enter. Now you can see our controller is successfully created. That means into the backend, that is our now new folder is created as a student, and into the student folder, that is our controller, right? So first work is we have to add it. So right now that is our name as a backend and the student. So better first of all I want to support it. That means I have to use it, right? So after this better I put one of the gap, and then that will be into the backend and the student folder. That means the backend, and into the student folder I have already created one of the controller as a student registration controller. I copy it. That will be our student registration controller. So right now I can actually use it, but I copy it, and now here in our student prefix here I want to use it. So that will be as a student registration controller. Right, friend? I hope at that point it should be very easy to you. So now I want to create one of the method. I want to create one of the method as a better you use that same structure as a student register, student REG. Okay, student register view. So this type of one of the method I want to create. So friend, here as I told you, right now I want to create one of the user, that means the student registration, and student registration is very much important one of the things, and here it will be connected with our every functionality that we have already done in our setup management. So step by step everything will be very clear to you. I will show you, like here for the student that is the registration. Okay, so I want to add everything in our user. If you go to our user, that means in our database, and if you go to that our user table, into the user table you can see that is actually our user type. So before I am only using that user type as a admin, user and user. So right now I want to actually change it. Here I want to also add another functionality, because that will be one of the software. Okay, so into the software area a student can able to register it, rather than the school administrator that also should have to be access this dashboard, right? That means it will be as a admin for the school administration, that will be also as a operator or the editor. So this type of some of the school authorization, everyone will be able to access this software, and also there is another option for the student. Okay, so for the reasons here we have to do, if you go to that structure in our user table, I have already before I have added some of the field as a mobile, address, gender and the image, right? And also there is a status. I want to add everything, every functionality in our user table. Then you will actually learn a lot of the things I show you. Everything step by step will be very clear to you. So better I want to actually make it as a callback. Okay, I want to add some of the another field for our this user table. So if you want to add that as a rollback, as I told you, you can do both of this way. You can add external some of the column, in particular this table, rather than you can also updated that your main part. That better I want to use it into the main, that means in our database migration file, then it will be saved. Okay, better if you go to our database, there is our database, that is our migration, into the migration that is our user table, right? So into the user table there is our user type. So I have already discussed about that things with you, how can add that another field with the rollback, and also how can add another field directly in your database table, right? So I have shared both of this with you. So right now I want to update our this user, that means this user table. So here if you want to do that work, better that will be as a string, and that will be as a user type, and user type I make it as a nullable. Okay, and also here you can add some of the comment. Better I want to add some of the comment, then it will be very much helpful to you what exactly the things I want to do on here. I make one of the comment. Okay, I make one of the comment for you, and that will be actually our user type will be as a student. It might be as a employee, or it might be as a admin. Okay, so that this type of all that our user will be, that means our user type will be just like as a student. It may as student, it may as employee, it may as admin. Okay friend, and after that there is a name also I make it as a nullable. The email I also want to now change it. I want to make it as a nullable. Okay, I make it as a nullable as email field. Verification will be just like that same, that is also nullable. There is our password, so password will be just like that same. Okay, and after that password I want to add some of the field. Maybe before I have already add some of the field as a after the password you can say I have added that mobile, address, gender, image, and the status. So right now first of all I want to add all that field. Okay, and then I will actually roll back means automatically it will be delected, and then I will add this functionality again. So better I copy it and here I paste it. I want to add actually multiple field for this one. Like first of all, that is our password. Okay, after that password I want to add another field, that will be as a mobile. So I name that field, that will be as a mobile field, and that will be also as a string. And then I take another one as the address, the gender. Okay, so that will be as a address, and after that will be as a gender. I copy it, that will be as a gender, and then I want to take another one as image, so that will be as image. Okay, so here I have added all, and also I want to make every field as a nullable. I make it as a nullable, and nullable. And for the student registration I also want to add another field, then it should be better. I want to add another field as a father name or F name. Okay, that will be as a father name, that will be as a mother name, as a M name. So this type of one of the field I want to add, and also I want to add as a religion. I want to add another one as a ID number. Okay, ID underscore number. So here I want to share one very interactive things with you. Like first of all, before have use it as a you have to manually insert some of the data, right? If you go to our manage user, into the add user, here you can see from here you can select as a role. You have to add that as a name, email address, and then the password. So here I want to do, when you actually create new user, automatically this system will be generated one of the password. Okay, so with this password that user will be able to access this software. So how can generate some of the automated password, I will also show you. So first of all I want to actually complete that total part. Everything one by one will be very clear to you, don't worry about it. So right now I am just adding some of the field as a father name, mother name, religion, ID number. This ID number will be automatically generated for the student. Okay, and also after that I take as a date of birth will be needed, so better I add another field as a date of birth. I want to add another field as a code. So this is the code field I want to take it for generated this user. Okay, whatever the user will be created, this user automatically generated one of the password, so that will be our this code. So I will add this part on here, and also after that better I want to add another field. So that will be very much interactive, one of the course friend, but you have to actually practice. Without practice everything will be just worthless. Okay, so make that sure you practice it, you learn every part. So that is a code field I take, and also after that I take another one as a role. Okay, I name it as a role, and then after that role better I want to add some of the that will be also as a every field will be nullable. So right now I want to make it every field as a nullable. So if there have no data, that will be not showing, giving you any error. Okay, that will be as a nullable. And after that nullable, here I also want to put some of the note. Then it will be remember why I'm actually using it. So I make one of the comment. I put that comment as a like as a admin. So admin will be as a head. Okay, head of software. So admin will be head of software, and then there will be another one as operator who actually operate the computer. That means the computer operator. Okay, that will be as a computer operator, and another will be as a user. This type of one of the role, user role will be as a employee. Okay, so this type of one of the functionality I want to add for our role. So comment, I put that comment as admin will be as a head of the software, and then our another one will be as a operator will be as a computer operator, and user will be as an employee. Okay, so that will be our total part. So here I want to add this type of one of the role, and after that I want to add as a joining date. Okay, join, that is pretty much common. Some of the field will be needed. So if you want to add multiple field, you can add it. So I name it as a join date. Join date will be needed. I added also previously I have also added the designation, right? So I also want to add another one for the designation. So as I told you, everything is very much interconnected. So I name it as a designation ID, designation underscore ID. Okay, that will be needed. And also you can add that salary, because that will be as a one of the ERP software. So everything will be actually needed. So laterally, if we need any other rest of this field, we will add it. So right now I'm adding as a salary, and also I added another one. Is there anything missing? You can see I didn't add that status. So also I want to add that status field. So I want to add that status field, and for the status field I want to do it should be for active or inactive this user. Okay, so for this functionality I want to use this field. I want to make it as a nullable. That means the joining date will be nullable, designation nullable, salary, and then status. Here I want to add some of the comment for you. Okay, I want to add some of the comment, and this will be I want to do and when it should be as a 0. Okay, that means when it should be as a 0, that means that is actually inactive. Okay, sorry, when it should be 0, then that will be as a inactive, and then when it should be as a 1, that means it should be as active. So this type of one of the functionality I want to add for this. So that will be our status field. Okay, that's all I think. Okay, so right now I take all that field. That is actually our status, right? So status I want to make it as a tiny integer. I make it as a tiny. Okay, I make it as a tiny integer. And also for the status, as I told you, when it will be 1, that will be as a active. When it will be as a 0, then it will be inactive, right? So better I want to pass some of the default value. I add as a default value, and I want to pass the default value will be as a 1. Okay, so that will be our default value. It will be inserted this data automatically when any that means our student will be registered automatically. It will be add this value. Okay, that will be our active value, that is a status. I make it as a teeny integer, so that will be the integer. Okay, ZER, that will be as a teeny integer. And salary I want to make it as a double. Okay, that will be as a double, that is our salary amount. And then there is a designation, that will be as a I make it as a designation, that is one of the ID. So better I want to make it as an integer. Okay, that will be as an integer. And then joining date, that will be as a date type. That means it will be save this data in our database with the date type, so that will be as a date, right? And then role I make it as a string, code string, and then DOB I make it as a date. That will be also date type as a date of birth, right? So that will be as a date type. Perfect. And then the ID number I make it as a string, religion string, mother name string, father name string, image I make it as a string, gender I make it as a string, and then address I make it as a string, gender, address, and the mobile, right? So I updated this part. Email I make it as a nullable. Every field I make it as a nullable, right? So it's a nullable. Okay, so right now for I think that will be enough. And for the integer, that means status, I make add on the default value as a 1, and that will be our comment out. Perfect. So friend, here I simply updated our user, right? So now I want to actually roll back this user. So if you want to roll back it, first of all you have to click save all, And also I want to save some of the data, because of all when it should be actually deleted. I have already created some of the user and I'm already logging with one of the user, right? Then it will be getting some of the error. Better if you go to our user table, if you go to the browse. So right now I am logging with this user, right? That is our admin user. Better I want to save this data. Okay, that will be actually our name, that means the email. So I copy it and here I save this data. That will be as an email address, that will be as a name as a admin. Okay, I name it as a admin. So I have already created it, because of all right now I want to remove it actually, so that will be needed. So I want to add that will be as a also admin, and then the password, that is on the hash password, I copy it. So right now I'm using as a Udemy 12345, right? So that will be hash password, and also mobile address, everything I will save it. And there is images. Okay, I also want to save this image link. I copy it and after that I save it. So that will be needed. So right now it's okay. I click as a this file will be needed only. I click as a save. Okay, I click as a save, and now if you want to call back, then you have to go to your migrations, into the migrations. So that is actually our user, right? So user, our batch as a right now 2. So here we have to change it, like there is our 12 is last one. So better I want to make it as a 15. Then when it will be actually roll back automatically, only this one will be deleted. Okay, so I make it as a 15 right now. So I make it batch as a 15. So before I have already discussed about that things with you. That is our user table. So now I want to roll back it. That means here I make it as a PHP artisan, and then migrate, and then roll back. Okay, so I make it as a PHP artisan, migrate, and then roll back. So if you now click as a enter, automatically our this user table will be deleted, and now click as a enter. Yeah, you can see it's now perfectly roll back our user table. Now if you go to our database, yeah, you can see our user table is totally now gone. So now I have already updated our user, now all that our new field, right? So that is our all that field. Now I want to update. So that will be if you want to add this user table again, then we have to migrate it, right? So now I want to migrate it again as a PHP artisan migrate. Now you name it as a PHP artisan migrate, click as enter. Yeah, now you can see our migration table is now successfully created. If you now go to our database, go to that structure, yeah, you can see there is a new user table is also created. So previously I have already created some of the user, every data is now totally gone. And you can see, friend, all that our new field is now available. So that is our user type, and also here I put some of the comment. Our user type will be as the student type, employee type, the admin type, the name, email, mobile address, gender, images, the father name, mother name, religion, our ID number, date of birth, there is a code, and role that will be as a admin head. Software will be that means that will be 3 type. One will be as an admin, another will be as an operator, another will be as a user. Okay, that is a joining date, designation ID, salary, status, or the 0 active or inactive. Perfect. So right now I want to actually add insert one data, because of all right now I am already logging with some of the user. So if you want to insert this data, better if you go to that as a structure. Into the structure I want to insert one of the data. Okay, so I make it as insert, and our user type I have already saved all the data. So our user type will be as an admin. I make it right now as an admin. Manually right now I'm adding this data. Our type will be as an admin type. That means the name I have also added as an admin. Email I have already created, that is our admin@gmail.com. So that will be our email, and then that will be our password. So right now I copy it. So our password will be this one. So I make it as a password, and then mobile number I put some of the mobile number as per your demand. Address I make it as a USA or whatever you choose. Gender I make it as a male. Okay, I make it as a male. Images, and also I save this images link. That will be our images link. I copy it. So that will be our images link. Okay, father name, mother name, that will be I will go and create one of the student registration, then I will insert this data. Okay, so that will be essential, all the data. So perfect. Now I just click as a go. Yeah, now go to the browser. So right now I have already created this user, right? So right now I'm already logging with this user. So right, if you click as a refresh, everything should be work. You can see everything is now great. Okay, so right now I'm using all the user. If you go to that user profile, I have already created that as a your profile. Yeah, our image is perfect. Our name, type, email address, mobile number, USA, mail. Perfect. If you want to edit it, then you'll be able to edit this one, right? Okay, so here also I have created another menu as a student management, and that is our student registration. So friend, I want to continue this process. In our next video, we have to create some of the model and the migration file for our assign all that is student. Okay, so how can do that work step by step? I will show you everything with the live example. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.